In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the battery on this Toyota Camry. If you need any parts for your car, check us out at oneauto.com. Well, let's get started. The battery is located right behind your driver's side headlight. What I'm going to remove first is this battery hole down here, two 10mm fasteners, a bolt on this side, and a nut on that side. So take your 10mm socket. You can even use a wrench on this if that's all you have. Remove it. Sometimes these are tight and stuck on there, so you want to be careful when you take them out not to break them or strip out the head of them. For this, you'll definitely need a wrench or a deep socket. Loosen up this nut. These are also often stuck on here. You don't have to remove it all the way, just enough to be able to pull this up. And then this is actually a hook that you're going to have to wiggle and twist until it unhooks from the bottom. That was the hardest part of the job, just because those two fasteners are often stuck. At this point, all you have to do is take your 10mm wrench or socket, loosen up the negative battery terminal first. This nut is what clamps this on. Once you loosen it up a couple turns, it should be able to be removed and set aside just like that so it can't make connection. On your positive terminal, usually there's a red cap on it. Pop this up, and same deal here. 10mm nut holds this terminal down. Just loosen it up a few turns, and that should allow you to release this terminal. Sometimes these get stuck, especially if there's corrosion built up on here. If there is a lot of corrosion, you're going to want to address that before you install a new battery. This can be set aside now. If you have any of these pads here, you can either remove them and discard them and get new ones, or just reuse them. Hopefully your battery has some sort of a handle. Sometimes they flip up like this. Sometimes they're already up here. Having said that, at this point you can remove your battery. It is fairly heavy, so watch out for that. Lift it up and right out. When installing a new battery, it is very important that you get the correct one, not just the physical size of it, but the cold cranking amps. You want to make sure that the battery has enough power to provide to the engine when it's running or starting especially. That's when it draws the most. So make sure you do your research and pick the right one for your engine application. These Camrys came with different engine options, so you want to make sure you have the right one for the engine in your particular Camry. Having said that, for the purposes of this video, I'm going to reinstall the battery that I took out. Assuming this is your new one, simply put it down in here and center it up. I'm going to start with the positive terminal. Put this down and make sure you have a little bit of that terminal poking up through the top. You want to make sure that this is fully seated. And to tighten this, you just want to snug it up until you're not able to spin this terminal by hand anymore, which is right about here. If you can still spin it, it's too loose. And if this doesn't tighten anymore, that means this has stretched and you need a new battery terminal. It's not good to leave it loose like that. Having said that, mine is good to go. I'm going to cap this back off. Now let's put the negative terminal back on. When you put this on, it may make a spark, so watch out for that. There we go. A little spark. Bottom this out and do the same thing. Snug it up until you cannot spin this by hand. If you crush it too much, it will stretch the terminal. That's good right there. When you put the battery hold down back in, it's difficult to see back there, but the hook basically needs to face towards the battery and hook in underneath the battery tray. Once you get it hooked in, you'll feel that it can't pull up anymore. I'm going to hold this in place like that, and I'm going to snug up this mounting nut a little bit on the J-hook. That's what this is called. Just enough so it doesn't drop down any further. Now line up this front bolt. If you have any sort of grease or you want to oil up the threads, I recommend it. Like I said, these do seize up often. Snug this up. Once you bottom it out, just make it snug. You don't need to go crazy. And with the front bolt tightened, finish tightening this one up just a little bit. Be careful, because if you tighten it too much, it will crush the battery. You are trying to avoid that. You know you're good to go and this is fully tightened when you cannot move the battery like this. This is made so that in case you get in an accident, the battery doesn't move around. Both of these terminals are tightened down and they're all set. If you wanted to put some battery terminal protector on them at this point, you could. This will just prevent corrosion, or at least slow it down over time. But other than that, turn on the vehicle and make sure everything functions as it should. There you have it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it was helpful. If you have anything to say, leave it in the comments section below. And as always, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you can stay up to date with all of our latest content. Thanks for watching.